العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Brothers and elders, mothers and sisters in Islam, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us in the company of the righteous in this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise us amongst the righteous on the day of Qiyamah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fill our lives with mercy and rahmah, as all of us are in the need of the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We continue our book, Riyad-us Saliheen by Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi, the 51st chapter. And the chapter is with regards to the hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the hadith for tonight is that Abdullah bin Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning the ayats of the Quran, in which Ibrahim alayhi salam says, and this is the ayat of the Quran, and Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Rabbi innahunna adlalna kathiran min al-nas, faman tabi'ani fa innahu minni. This is Surah Ibrahim, verse number 36, where Ibrahim alayhi salam made this dua and cried to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said, "O my Rubb, they have led astray many amongst mankind, but whosoever follows me, he's verily is of me." Meaning, O Allah, from amongst my people, who are my followers in time of Ibrahim alayhi salam, there are many that may have, led towards the wrong path. But O Allah, whoever has followed my path and followed the right guidance, O Allah, they are from amongst me. At this moment, Rasulullah ﷺ waited a bit. وَقَالَ Isa alayhi salam. And then Rasulullah ﷺ said that Isa alayhi salam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy and peace and blessings be upon him, said, إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ عِبَادُكَ وَإِن تَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ فَإِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. Rasulullah ﷺ recited the dua or the prayer of Isa alayhi salam from the Quran, where Isa alayhi salam said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that if you punish them, they are your slaves. And if you forgive them, verily you are almighty and all-wise. So, two du'as of two prophets. Rasulullah ﷺ remembered Ibrahim alayhi salam and his dua for his people and his crying for his people. Then he remembered Isa alayhi salam and his dua and his crying for his people. Once this was done by Rasulullah ﷺ saying this, فَرَفَ يَدَيْهِ وَقَالَ. At this moment, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam raised his hands and he said, "O Allah, my ummat, O Allah, my ummat. Allahumma ummati, ummati." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam began to say, "O Allah, my ummat, O Allah, my ummat." And wabaka, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam cried profusely. At this moment, فَقَالَ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeing the situation and knowing the situation, said, Ya Jibril, idhab ila Muhammad wa rabbika alamu. And indeed, go to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, even though your Rabb knows the condition, and ask him what makes him cry, what makes my Habib, what makes my Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam weep. So فَأَتَى جِبْرَائِيلَ alayhi salam فَأَخْبَرَهُ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ sallallahu alayhi wasallam بِمَا قَالَ. And he said to him, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, what's going on? Why are you crying? Why are you weeping? وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows each and everything. So upon this, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, go to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and say and inform him, Ya Jibril, idhab ila Muhammad. Faqal, O Jibril, go to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and go and tell him, Allahu Akbar. He said, verily, we will please you with regards to your ummah, and we will never displease you. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we will make you radi and satisfied regarding your ummah on the day of Qiyamah. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, don't worry. Allah will not let you go. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not let go of your ummah on the day of Qiyamah as well. So Rasulullah and many of the scholars have mentioned that this particular incident had taken place near the demise and the passing away of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That it was near his deathbed that the Nabi of Allah ﷺ remembered the dua of Ibrahim alayhi for what he prayed for his nation. And he remembered the dua of Isa alayhi for what he prayed for his nation. And then seeing the condition that he will not be with his ummah for too long, he said, Allahumma ummati, ummati, O Allah, my people, my people. And at that moment, my ummah, and at that moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing each and everything, sent a message via Jibril alayhi salam that Allah knows the condition. But if your ummah is something that makes you weep, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inna sanardika fi ummatik. Allah will make you radi on the day of Qiyamah when it comes to your ummah. Two important points in this particular hadith, and we will finish. Firstly, we see the kindness of the Prophet ﷺ for his ummah, the love that he had for each and every one of us. And brothers and sisters, the least that we can do is to love, emulate, and follow the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, right? And not consider the sunnah as a burden in our lives, right? The sunnah is the greatest amal and action that we can have in our lives. We should be honored to hold the sunnah in our lives. Not that, oh, why is this a sunnah? Why do I have to? We should hold the sunnah with honor because of the love that Nabi of Allah ﷺ. And of course, the full manifestation of which will be seen on the day of resurrection. His shafa'at for his ummah on the day of Qiyamah. His true love and manifestation on the day of Qiyamah. Secondly, this hadith also showcases the love that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has for his Habib Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That even though he knew his condition, but still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a message to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, through Angel Jibril alayhi salam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not let you or your ummah be alone on the day of Qiyamah, nor in this world, nor on the day of Qiyamah. Brothers and sisters, few points for us to remember: the rahmat, the mercy, the karam, the generosity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the love, the care of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for his ummah. So two things to remember: the Rubb who is so kareem, he's not worth disobeying, brothers and sisters. The Rubb that is so kareem, the Rubb that's so generous, the one that's so giving, it's not worth that we disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no sin in this world that is worth leaving the Rubb Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he's so kind, he's so loving, he's so giving. And there is no better way for us to follow than the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah give us tawfiq and ability to practice whatever good has been shared, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an